I guess one of my topics today, I guess, is like PS5. And since I am streaming on the PS5 from the PS5, I just want to go into like accessorizing like the game rather. And what I mean by accessorizing the game is pretty much like that, like the console. I really don't feel like a lot of games and stuff are really worth the money, at least for right now. Um, let's go ahead and change our skin real quick. I did buy the laser beam skin, so. Alright, so, that being said, what are some drawbacks I think I have with games right now? I really don't know. I definitely think Miles Morales is good, but like, I feel like a lot of games have the same problem. I'm not trying to be funny or indifferent about like, you know, games and stuff like that, but like if you honestly had to think about it as like somebody who just buys like a lot of games, like for me, I know personally I have a majority of the launch titles, like the original with the exception of Dirt. What's the other one? Dirt, Borderlands, and stuff like that. I'm not buying Borderlands or some of these games. My whole thoughts on it, a lot of these games are not new. A lot of these games are pretty much the same. They're remasters. I don't really think remasters are bad, for one. But at the same time, my only issue or thing that I have with the games that are out right now, there's no online multiplayer component that really works or was functional. I've had my PlayStation 5 since launch, so I'm not being biased. I've been through the bad with pretty much any game, even NBA 2K. NBA 2K is like I hate to put it this year. This year is bad. You know, I don't try to be biased or try to kiss people's butt. You know, the benefit of the doubt. You know, people say that, you know, 2K17 and all these different games are publishers. I can't really recall a game that's been so great from a publisher in a while, relatively speaking. And I also can't say that, like, you know, for instance, I had the most enjoyable time playing certain games. I mean, for a while, like, I beat Miles Morales in, like, what, a day and a half. Got a platinum and everything. And of course, you had to go back and play the game again. And I got that. I think Miles Morales is definitely worth the money. That's the only game that I could say is worth the money to a certain extent. It just depends on what you want. You can't buy the remastered version of Spider-Man for a PS5, so you have to buy Miles Morales. And then inside the game, they'll give you an option to buy the Spider-Man remaster for PS5, and it's only $20. So, you know, maybe I might be interested in that, but then again, I think not. The $20 price tag with that is pretty good, I have to admit, because there's nothing worse than a $70 price tag on most video games, you know? But it's a kind of standalone, like you can't access, you have to actually physically own Miles Morales. Not the disc, but you have to own it to get inside the space. It has a separate list inside the game, and it takes you to the actual listing of it, which I think is cool, but I don't really focus on that component that much. But definitely don't feel like PlayStation 5, in a sense, there's a lot of issues with PlayStation 5, you know, or rather, I would say the way they handle stuff. It is not even in terms of the units per se. It's just the newsroom. That's just my honest opinion. Like, I don't want to sit up here and lie. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys and be like, oh yeah, that's so great. Now having a PS5 is great, but like you're literally playing like majority of the games and stuff like that. They're not any new games, and then the new games are case by case basis. Like you may not even know that a particular game or something like that. It'll be like just announced. Wow. Rapid Fire SMG, I didn't even know they even brought that back. What my main thing is that, I don't know, like a lot of these games, for instance, like PlayStation 5 wise, they kind of have some stuff, like games. I don't really feel like it really stretched a particular age group because, like, for instance, some games, you know, I don't feel like it's age appropriate in a sense. You know, I'm not judging anybody or anything like that. But like for instance, if you buy a PlayStation 5 and like someone remind you, she's gonna be playing Little Big Planet or Sackboy's Adventure. That's what it's called. I referred to it as Little Big Planet. That junk was cool when I was like what 10. I'm about to turn 22 soon, so it's just like wow. That's kind of one of those ones that you just kind of have to gauge it. And then, you know, they had Godfall. Godfall is not really worth the money. And then the PlayStation Plus, I don't think the bar is set high. And I mean, that kind of says something, but it doesn't really say that much, relatively speaking. So, like, for instance, yeah, Godfall and stuff like that is made by a AAA publisher. But if you look at the game and reviews of it, certain games have been good and certain games have been bad, but the way Godfall is ran and surprisingly their AAA title produces game, no, you really can't justify it, you know, especially like, you know, a few things. I know, like, for instance, you know, I've been thinking about just gaming in general and, like, you know, the accessories and stuff like for PS5, people getting the remote and stuff like that. I actually thought about getting the DualShock thing. I might get me an extra controller. I'm not sure, but I just don't believe the hype in a majority. I don't know. Anytime anything's new, I feel it. You definitely want to have your the fear of missing out is definitely a real thing. So can't have everything. And like I'm still thinking about it, the online component for a lot of these games was not functional. Like Fortnite, when I first tried to play Fortnite on PS5, it didn't work for a few days. I don't know what the issue was and stuff like that. You know, it is what it is. You know, it was faulty. I'm not saying to give them a break at all, but like I'm gonna get back to my talking points in a second, but like, I don't know, man. I don't really think that certain stuff was bait and switch. Oh my god! Oh my god! That was annoying. And then, you know, it is what it is. You know, I can't really control that. I got in a gunfight and then the controls and whatnot, but I feel like the basic rundown of the stuff, like we already has an issue with the supply chain management for PlayStation 5 for one. We have an issue with, I feel like, cancellations because of COVID. I don't feel like COVID has anything to do with you making a bad game or just a game in general. I really don't. Obviously, factors like budget. If you're like, what you call it, net loss and your revenues and stuff's down, you may have to lay off a few things. But I definitely don't feel like that's the case for certain games. Even before, like, let's take for instance, current gen 2K. Like PS4 and then like the PS5. I don't feel like 2K on PlayStation 5 is not good. I'll tell anybody that. Graphically, it's fun for a little bit, but I feel like there's certain games that you should only allow yourself to play for a certain period of time. 2K and Call of Duty are just one of those. Without like your friends and stuff like that. I mean, really, is it really that good, honestly? I don't really get on 2K and stuff like that. Only at, like, the request of my friends, just to help them out. Because, like, the online component doesn't make any sense. The server, that doesn't make any sense. You have all these different parks and space like that. Poor implementation of, like, how online stuff is supposed to work. And it has nothing to do with, like, the various stuff like threat rewards. That's only part of it. Like, great ideas, poor execution once again. And then the gameplay, terrible. The thing I wish 2K would stop doing is making like a demo that doesn't actually test out a player. And the thing that I've always never understand is the fact how 2K negates certain stuff. Like, okay, if I'm a playmaking, well, basically I'm a sharpshooter point forward on 2K21. I'm never installing 2K21 back on my console again. I paid $0 for it because I got the $100 Mamba edition. For PS4, give me a free copy. I was happy, but I had the game since it launched, and that junk was terrible. They had all the buildings, and you start to lag because of and you see that I feel like, how do I put it? 2K can't really blame, for instance, the pandemic, because they were well on their way producing the next game. They probably had to put some final blemishes and touches on the thing, but that doesn't really negate the fact that, you had over a year, pretty much. By the time 2K comes out, 2K21, their only thing is to make minimal updates. And that's exactly what they've done. They start focus on 2K22, start drawing out ideas, implementation, and, going from there. Try to see what the reports are, the financial reports. See what the analytics are saying. See what I have in the back quarter with microtransactions. And, one thing I had to really realize, and for instance, like with microtransactions for games, I'm not going to be spending a certain amount of money for like a microtransaction for a game. Like, you think about 2K. 2K is only good for a certain period of time, and after that, I don't think you should have to spend $50 to even be competitive. You don't have to, but the thing about it, you waste so much VC if you think about it, like on the changing. Okay, on how you could be changing, like let's say your playstyle, for instance. Not even playstyle. Like, for instance, 2K19. Everybody had a shot creator. That was the most OP build, pure shot creator. Along with the stretches. Almost any build and stuff wasn't balanced on 2K. That's 100% honesty. No build on 2K is pretty much balanced with 2K19. Yeah, people making locks, and I think that we're not going to talk about the gameplay. We're just going to talk about how certain stuff is a downward spiral, and then also it has to deal with more games. We're not going to completely, rag on 2K and stuff like that, but just a little bit of transparency. A lot of games are not giving people a limited thing where actually you can try out certain stuff. Like, I shouldn't say you should give like a full out demo. Like, if you're having people, like, you have a component where It's free. Somebody can get a play of how stuff works online, rather. Like, I'd rather them do it how NBA Live did it. Like, you can make a player, you couldn't get past 79 overall, or something like that. To me, that was very fun. And you can get a kind of idea of what your strengths and weaknesses were. And I don't really think anything has to do with the builds. I just think that, there's definitely faulty mechanics in the game. And 2K is not really a game of skill. I hate to put it like that, but it's really a game of exploit. If you're not really exploiting or something like that, I never exploit at all. Like, the thing about contact dunks on 2K, I feel like it's too late. Most people have removed themselves from 2K. And then they ban wagers. I kind of keep up with 2K a little bit, but I'm just not really into 2K. 2K will definitely not get my money for 2K22. There's no way in hell that I'm buying it. No way. But the one thing I'll give 2K credit for, in all honesty, is more rep days. Because like the last couple years, the way they've been handling rep is ridiculous. But the rep awards, we're not going to really go get into that. I feel like the game's just all around from mechanical, physical, or physics standpoint in the game. They definitely, I don't know who told them that's a good game. But the problem I got with like a majority of the games that I have right now, like especially, they're just filler games. Like, they're not really expanding on content in a sense. Like Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs has been out for what, almost really, I can say, I think at this point it's been like 6 months. We're getting close to it, at least 5. But yeah, it's definitely been out that long. And there's been minimal certain stuff. I know they did the beta and stuff like that. I feel like that's cool. I'm not going to really rag on them that much. But the fact is, like, they said the beta and stuff. Then they tried to have like a system where you could register. That fell through, and then they supposed to be going with this limited beta thing. Now, to me, that's a little bit too long to be waiting. But I'd rather have something that's fully functional instead of a broken pile of doo-doo. How is that okay, though? I just want to know, how is that okay? That's not really, that's kind of my fault, but at the same time, like, I don't know, man. Like, I can name the list of games real quick that I have. What's your opinion on it? Demon Souls, I feel like, is a very expensive game. I played a little bit of it, but it's still a learning curve. I played it the other day. I still gotta kind of watch some videos on it still. Black Ops is, I feel like Black Ops is not really a good game, but it's a content filler. Hitman 3 is definitely good. I still got a whole lot more to learn. 2K, I already kind of told y'all how I felt about it. Destruction All Stars, I think the game was terrible. Worst version of Rocket League, in my honest opinion. Mortal Kombat, I definitely do not feel like Mortal Kombat is really, how can I say, it doesn't live up to the expectations that I would like it to focus on. Now it's just like, the drip feed of content is real, in my honest opinion. So, What I mean by drip feed is like, okay, the drip feed in the competitive modes and stuff like that is really ruining games. Like Fortnite. Fortnite has become so watered down, and a lot of content creators have really left because of sweatiness of this stuff, all these builds, all these different edits. I'm not one to really complain about builds and edits and stuff like that because I really don't play this game as much. Because like back then, I feel like prime Fortnite was when they had the Omega skin, that type of stuff. Now, I think the focus is on retaining the audience, making money, and moving on to subscription-based things like the Fortnite Pass. I definitely do have the Fortnite Pass. I don't think I'll be getting rid of it, but like me and my boys, we used to completely play Fortnite. Like we used to always, like when I was a freshman in college and sophomore, we used to play the hell out of this game, man. But now, like, it's different. Like it's a different thing now. And as a whole, I really feel like the battle royale genre has kind of faded out a lot. And nobody's really interested in that type of stuff like that anymore. Like Warzone, I don't really feel like Warzone is really representative of everybody has their own flair of battle royale. And most definitely everybody tried to kind of get into that. Yeah, the PlayStation Plus games have been terrible. That's just my honest opinion. They've just been terrible. I know Final Fantasy is supposed to be coming out, like it's a remake. I've never really ever played a Final Fantasy game, and people talking about Game Pass. Game Pass, in my opinion, I'm not being biased when I say this. It's just like, discoverability of games is just not really there. Or it's not really forthcoming and forthright, in my honest opinion. Like, if people talking about PlayStation now, any type of subscription-based service, I don't really feel like... Subscription-based service don't deliver anything like any deliverables, honestly speaking. Because as long as they know they have your money on a hook and stuff like that, you're not really looking for more in a way. That's good and bad for you as the customer, and then as bad for the business. Now, let me explain. For instance, you're kind of watering down the product. Both of the parties are watering down the product. Like, what is it? I think it's the Game Pass and stuff like that. I remember Xbox Live not too long ago. They were trying to, what are they trying to do? They were trying to raise the price up to $160. Game Pass Ultimate. There we go. Game Pass Ultimate. And people were mad about the thing. I would be mad too. There's really no point of the price increase, and there's no perks and stuff like that. You should get free games and stuff like that. You have a large selection of games, and then Game Pass. Last time I played on Xbox with one of my friends, so yeah, I was playing Mortal Kombat X. So, and it was not too long. It was like a year and some change ago. Not too long ago. But, Game Pass at that time, I think it was like 99 cents, the most basic plan. You can go and play different games and stuff like that. I definitely feel like Xbox and PlayStation have a whole lot of stuff to learn from each other, but they have a whole lot of stuff they have to fix up and whatnot. And it has nothing to do with the consoles in themselves. That's only a part of it. But there's not been any type of transparency. Well, not even really transparency. There's not been any type of communication with the games and stuff like that. Like, for instance, Kena Book of Spirits, that game. People thought that game was coming out in March? It's supposed to be a March. It's supposed to come out in Q3 or Q1. My bad. Of this year. It didn't happen like that. So it's coming out like August, sometime in August, and I think that's a little bit too late for my personal liking. I think you have Outriders coming up. You have the what's that game with the aliens? I forgot. I was talking about that junk. Can't think of it right now. But I know they just released Yakuza Like a Dragon for PS5. And it was like, that game is not that old, but they remastered it for PS5. And I was looking at the gameplay. I was like, that wasn't even announced. That was just like something we're gonna just put on the PlayStation Store. That's not really PlayStation's fault. But I definitely don't feel like spending $60 on something that I never heard of. I've heard of Yakuza, but it's been so many, how could I put it this way? There's so many games and so many other factors going on. Well, I'm kind of waiting for price drops of certain games so I can kind of give my official thoughts on it. Miles Morales, does it need a price drop? I would say yes, to a certain degree. I try to be fair. Now, Miles Morales is good, people say it's like a DLC instead of a standalone game. I agree halfway because I basically got I think I checked my thing. I got 26 hours played of it. That's because I did the side missions, side quests, and all this type of stuff. You can definitely play it, but I feel like the maximum playability you're going to get out of that is maybe I say 2 times, really. Because you're like a trophy hunter. I'm not really a trophy hunter, but I just said I kind of want to challenge myself. So I platinumed Miles Morales. That kind of gave me more incentive. But not by that much. Honestly, there's so many other motivating factors and stuff like that. Now, Deathloop is coming out shortly. I mean, it comes out in May. We're not that far away from May. Because in a few more weeks, it's going to be April. And, we're going to be able to move on to another game. Hopefully. I don't know, man. But some of these games are literally not been on sale. It's just bad. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I don't think I'm gonna buy that. And then the other thing too, when I saw the state of play stuff like that, that stuff really wasn't announced. And then if you want to pre-order a game or something like that, for instance Crash Bandicoot, the new one, I don't really think that that's really something that I definitely phased out of that. That was maybe popular when I was 7, along with the Spiral series. Those games they waited a little bit too long, in my opinion. And I'm a '90s kid, like at the end, so. Another, like, I don't really think that a lot of games are really thinking. In terms of, like, a free PS5 upgrade like Cyberpunk. I bought Cyberpunk for full price. And get alone digital. So, I mean, that's kind of rare in itself because you'll probably never get another digital copy of Cyberpunk ever. You'll probably never see that again. That's honest. That, I mean, that's a plus and a plus and a minus. It's a positive and a negative. Um, do I think Cyberpunk, some of the issues could have been avoided? Yes. And they needed more time on the game. They shouldn't have released it for full price. It's as simple as that. Like, I don't have time, like, to lie to people and stuff like that. That's just not my business. Some people criticize me for being a little bit too harsh on certain stuff, but if it's bad, it's bad. Like, you can't really try to recover, like, something that's bad. Like, there's companies that spend millions of dollars trying to repair something that they've done, and it really isn't going to benefit them at all. So it's going to make them worse. and puts them in the worst financial state because you think about it, there's a cost associated. A lot of companies, when they're in a bad state, they may pay a third party that specializes in, like, maybe some type of training or something like that. Or just somebody who's, like, not affiliated with the company. They've gotten good reviews from other companies. Come in and clear house of, like, the bad influences and stuff like that. And kind of focus on some trainings or some other components that they could work on. A lot of companies have done that. Or they had to restructure the way they conduct business, rather. And I definitely feel like a lot of games, in my honest opinion, Cyberpunk is really no exception. The people who made it, I thought they should have definitely not made Cyberpunk. It's funny of like how how much potential the game has, but it's also a testament, hype, marketing. You're not really paying any money for marketing. You're letting people market the game for you. That's smart. This is the most smartest thing you can do. Word of mouth can be better than you trying to reach to somebody or a demographic that automatically who's going to buy the game. Teens, people interested in like RPGs and stuff like that. That's going to be your target like audience. We know that. One of the biggest things, I think, there are not that many Japanese RPGs. I'm not really into Japanese RPGs and stuff like that, but being honest, I incorporate everything. Demon Souls is one of those, but that's like that only got prime spotlight because it's a acclaimed series, a Soul series. What? I mean, there was no way I was going to win that one. But I think I did good. But let me go over the games that I think... I don't really know how to describe it. Like, let's see. Which game is out? Supposed to be coming out soon. Let's see. Valhalla, I mean, it's okay. It's not what you expect, but it is what it is at that point. Okay, Yakuza just came out the other day. Hold on. Let's see. Odd World Soulstorm. I don't know. I don't even know how much that's even really gonna cost. Let's name. What's the name of the game? It starts with an O. It's not Outriders. It's not even Outbreak. I said the name of the game plenty of times. Shit, let me get my phone real quick so I can possibly type the game in and I can probably find it. Because, I feel like one of the most interesting things you're going to find about games and stuff like that. Bro, what is this game? It's been out. There's been a lot of marketing for it, but like, Returnal. There we go. Returnal. I don't know about that game. That game, it seems interesting, but there's not that much, like, deliverables on that. And that's not even on the PlayStation thing like that. They're focusing on these different games, and I'm just like, wow. Yakuza came out the other day, and that's like on the prime time spot. If not the first page of the first thing you see when you go down, what's hot? Yakuza Like a Dragon. They got Persona 5, and I'm not even sure. PS4 Standard Edition Strikers. I already have that. There's like a lot of PS5 games and stuff like that, or games in general that I have from PlayStation Plus that I have not tried. Returnal, $70. Two in-game for Celine, digital soundtrack pulsating. Yeah, I definitely don't know, man. Like, I do not feel like playing like the same games. I know a lot of games and stuff like that had enhancements for PS5, so you're not exactly playing the same games. But like, for instance, Grand Theft Auto and then Red Dead. Red Dead's in the league of its own, but like, there ain't no deliverables with those games. Because like, you think about it, what am I really getting out of playing this game? What am I really getting out of playing this game? GTA is long overdue for a new game. But then again, how would you execute that game? It's a difference between talking about something and actually implementing a good game and executing on that. I can talk about what's qualities of a good game, but if I'm not really doing that, or how can I put it? A company doesn't have a good track record of producing a good game from start to end. It doesn't have to even be necessarily, but it's more common for I would say AAA publishers. It's definitely a common thing where they don't really produce a good game. Hype, the marketing, it could be anything really. Like a game that I think really just shot itself in the foot. It was funny and it lasted a while. The Naughty Bear series. Nobody really talks about that game at all, and I used to be a fan of that game. The only game that I can honestly say that's just like that, I'm not sure if it's in the same thing. The Five Nights at Freddy's. That was one of the games that it's been out on PC for a while. I feel like it started on PC, or the majority of the people. What the hell, man? Dead, bruh. It is what it is in that case. I'm gonna go and check some prices. I'm definitely gonna check the prices of certain games, like, even if I wanted to get them. Let's go to GameStop. We can check the prices out, and we can kind of get a feel of what's a good price for a game and what's not a good price for games. Did I kind of shoot myself in the foot by getting how can I say, a digital PS5? I would say yeah and no. Um, let's see. Damn. Cold Wars, really? They charging that? Watchdog Legion is going for $23. Immortals Phoenix Rising. Miles Morales is going for $50 still. Mortal Kombat is still going for like $35. Demon Souls is still going for $70. Sackboy is still going for $60. Ratchet and Clank Returnal. Hitman is still going for $59. Devil May Cry is going for like $33. That's not bad. I don't really think I'm getting beat in that particular aspect. But man, everybody wants a console and stuff like that, but everybody don't want. I feel like the commitment is to provide updates about, deliverables is something rather that I feel like PlayStation does do a good job at. Companies don't really, you want me to pre-order a thing, but what do I get? Like, for instance, the digital soundtrack, I thought that was something that you could get through the actual thing you actually purchase, like you had like a music library or something like that you could listen to it. Nah, you had to go to the website, and I didn't even know all that. I was like, what in the world? Hitman 3 is a great game, but like I said, it's one of those games. I know what to do still on Hitman. I'm pretty good at that, but, with all the content they're trying to create, I feel like it's a little bit too much. And I don't want to get burned out on that, so I might try to do a mission tonight. I don't know if I'm going to stream it, but definitely, I play different games, I do. I might try to go back to playing Valhalla tonight, but I'm not, for a standpoint for me, my thing is about how much money, in a way, how much playability I'm going to get for my money. That's the whole thing. You can play a game all day long. If a game is fun, I got no problem, really spending money, criticizing it, helping you save money in the process and whatnot and so forth. I know me personally, I'm not going to refund Cyberpunk. I just deleted it off my console, but I still have it in case they do make updates. I know they just got hacked. CD Projekt Red, the developers of them, just got hacked, so they can't really, work right now. They got their source code and stuff stolen from them. People selling the financial data for a ransom. You know, I don't believe in stealing or anything like that. Obviously, that I don't believe in stealing, doing anything like that. But I definitely think that a lot of stuff, like for instance, games, you know, they piss people off in a way not providing an update. You know, Cyberpunk, it could brick your console, so there's that on that, but I'll just perform right here. Well, like for instance, for me, I'll put it this way: games and stuff it's kind of a difficult time right now. Just because I'm thinking about it. We've lost like a year. I mean, I'm about to get my second shot, tomorrow. But I feel like me personally, I feel like I lost like maybe like a good. I feel like I definitely lost like a good 2 years, like definitely, like in terms of like back to back. 2019 was bad. 2020, I was hopeful. I had a few things and stuff like that, but I'm doing the best I can, try to manage everything. Staying positive. Um, I have some things to look forward to, but at the same time, I'm just looking from a standpoint. I don't know, man. Now I got this internship and stuff like that, but I'm still thinking about it from a standpoint. I only want to work maybe a total of like 14 years, retire young, and still be making money. Like, I don't know, man. I'm not even talking about investing, but like, having something that's just making residual money or something like that. Like, somebody could graduate, could start like a startup. They sell their first company for like $7 million. That's the type of stuff I'm interested in, instead of like, a typical 9 to 5. Now I have something that's on like my computer, like a company, a business idea. Let somebody look over and stuff like that. It says a great idea. Um, that was a while back. I still have it, but I don't know what it is, man. They're supposed to graduate college in like a few months. What type of bullshit is that? You can't even see these people, bro. I can even see that guy at all. So, it is what it is in this case. It is what it is. I'm gonna let y'all go, man.